is very complicated at first. There's a lot of buttons and things that you need to learn, coding that you need to understand.
Hey everyone, we are here back for another podcast. We're actually on episode number 24, and it's been a great series for us thus far for Complacency Kills. And today we actually have a special guest. His name is Chris Witt. He also goes by Fur, for anyone asking. So today's a bit of an improv day. We have employees all over the place right now. So today we kind of shook it up a little bit, and we got Chris in. He's over in our operations group. He's a machinist back there. But anyways, Chris, I'll let you give a little introduction of yourself and what you do here before we kick off this.
Yeah, so my name is Christopher Witt, and I've been here for about 4.5 years. I kind of started here just doing little things around the office, putting flyers together and things like that. And then, the longer I was here, started working in the shop, was knocking rust off of things and whatnot, and then got to a point where we had all of our machines and they needed someone to run it. So, they taught me how to run all that, and, I've been running that for the last 3 years now. So, I just pretty much take care of everything in the shop, from our shoot houses to anything that needs to be made for our BREs or, barrier pins and things like that.
Cool. So, tell me about machining. Like, where does one begin? How do you learn that?
Well, it definitely is very complicated at first. There's a lot of buttons and, things that you need to learn, coding that you need to understand. But, with a lot of practice and whatnot, it comes over time. So pretty much, we'll get a model of something, and, the engineers, they'll give that to me, and then I'll go ahead, put it into our program, and I'll, tell the machine what it needs to do, get the right tools for it, and then, throw that into the machine, get it set up, and just let it run. So
like, so when you're going through your process for machining, where did you start? When it comes to you learning the process of it, was it people setting programs for you and you just kind of hitting the go button, or like where did you start and where are you at now when it comes to your level of ability?
Yeah, so when I first started, I was literally just hitting a green button, just hitting the go button every time, and maybe, I would switch parts out and whatnot. But, I would watch, other people run it, seeing what they would do to set it up and all the steps that need to be taken into account for each program. So over time, I started learning more and more. So now I'm at a point now where I can get a model, program it, set it up, get the material in there, change out all the tools that need to be changed, and then, just run everything by myself.
Very cool. So with all that being said, what are your thoughts on, I guess you're 3 years in now, so what are your thoughts on being a machinist?
I love it. Every day is a different challenge. Things do get repetitive when you're making parts over and over again. But there's always something new that comes up, and there's a new challenge, and, they're all learning lessons too. So That's the great part about it.
And so what's been your experience though, working as a machinist though, for the security and defense and like armor type industries that might, like, do you think anything sets you apart from, let's say, machinists that do trinkets, that do automotive parts, things of that nature? Like, is the type of machining you're doing different than let's say other fields of work, I guess?
Well, yeah, sure. It's definitely unique. We're working with, hard metals that, people that, use it as just like a hobby to make like trinkets, like you said, or whatever. It becomes a lot more complex, and making sure that, you're running the right feeds and speeds for specific materials. That stands out a lot different than, people just, running aluminum in a shop or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So this is your first time on the podcast. You've been in the company for 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So just tell me about, what do you like about working here, man?
Well,
or hate?
It's been a great experience. I feel like when I first started here, I didn't know much of what I was doing, and I feel like I've learned a lot of life skills, using, different power equipment and things like that. So I'd say, my favorite thing about being here is like almost every day I come in, I'm learning something new. And most of that stuff I can apply to my life, outside of work.
And so do you want to tell everyone on camera, though? So for those of you that don't know, we like to stay active here. So a lot of times we'll take our lunch breaks and go out and either work out, play basketball, or do whatever, right? So it's a lot of fun. But Chris, would you like to share with our audience, like, roughly what your win-loss ratio is in one-on-one basketball? Chris likes to think he's good at basketball. But.
Yeah, I like to think I'm good, but let's say out of every 10 games, I'm probably only winning 1 or 2.
That's generous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we have a lot of fun here at Kontek. We do a lot of just, I guess, less than orthodox work-life balance, which is great, as we make sure we get all our stuff done. And we're obviously always there for our customers and that kind of good stuff. We also like to have fun here. So, but yeah. So what else is going on in your life, Chris? Tell me, talk to me.
Yeah. Well, I finished my associate's degree in December of last year. So right now I'm really just trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my entire career. Machining is definitely up for the running right now. I've enjoyed it a lot, so that might be something I want to continue going down the line. But yeah, right now I'm just focused on my work life and figure out what I want to do with my career. So
you tried machining any parts for your new 370Z?
Not yet, but it could happen in the future.
Yeah, well, behind the scenes here, yeah. So we got some race car drivers here. We got Chris with his 370. James, who's our marketing guy, has recently tricked out his car.
Oh, really?
And then actually, back over here, our camera guy apparently has a Ford Lightning now. So
really,
yep. Which I'm
like
gonna go look at after the podcast. By the way,
looks like you're
I'm lagging
probably
big
the
time.
slowest one out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, diesel life.
It has great handling though.
Yeah,
great handling
for sure. It's a giant hunk. But yeah. So, anyways, just want to get you on for a few minutes.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
introduce you to the rest of the Kontek network, and Chris is. If you buy one of our shoot houses, one of our weapons ports, one of our barriers, he's definitely had some hand physically, more than likely, in making that and producing it and making sure it shows up on site for you guys. So. Anyways, thanks, Chris, for coming on, giving us a few minutes of your time, and now go get back to work because we got stuff to make.
Got a lot of shoot houses to make.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right. Appreciate
Later,
it,
guys.